plants. Okay, look at that. Look at this nice plump homegrown aloe. All natural, homegrown. It's a plant that I have in my garden straight in the ground, which I usually wouldn't recommend because they do better in containers. You can control, the watering and all of that. But this plant is in my ground and it's doing beautifully, and I get these nice plump aloe. And I harvest it for my skincare routine. So aloe is rich in vitamins A, B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, C, and also E. It also has folic acid, iron, zinc, potassium, magnesium, and manganese. It's very good for sunburns, so if I'm gardening a little bit too much, I will use aloe on my skin that day. At the end of the day, when after I shower and all of that, I'll show you what I make for my skin. And so I swear by it for acne scars, redness. It hydrates your skin. I think it gives my skin a nice glowy look. So come with me. I'll show you how I harvest that, and then I'll show you what I do with it. One of my aloe plants. Usually I plant these in pots, but this has been in the ground for about 5 years or so, and it's doing beautifully. I harvest from it quite often. So it's a very tall one, and like I said, they usually like indirect sunlight, but this doesn't get too much sun, maybe full sun about 3 hours a day or so, and it's doing well. They usually thrive in temperatures of like 50, 55 degrees to 80 degrees they like. It does get hotter here, and it's still fine. It's been raining a lot, and again, this one seems to just love it in the spot, so I'm not planning on moving it. As a house plant, it purifies the air, so if you were to have one in your home, it's really good for the air in your home. It does like slightly sandy soil, which I have here. So that's probably one of the reasons why this one's doing so well in this corner. So it's just a far corner of my yard, and I do kind of neglect it, which I hate to say it, but that's probably what they need, that you don't want to overwater. They'll probably do better with less water, but you'll see their leaves sagging a little bit if you don't water it enough. You'll see it in its leaves. It won't be as plump. You'll be able to tell. So I'll go ahead and show you how to harvest this and to make our gel. So guys, if you don't want the entire leaf of the aloe, you can harvest half of it, because it will actually create a scab and heal itself, and it'll be fine, and you can just keep cutting as you need. But today I will go ahead and harvest an entire leaf of it. So what you want to do is harvest from the outer perimeter. So you're gonna make sure your knife is very sharp, okay? And so you want to go all the way to the bottom without touching, the stem of it. So you want to make sure that you're just cutting probably, I go as close as possible without making sure you're not cutting the other leaves or the stem of the cactus. And so you just go in there and you cut as close as possible, okay? And so here you go. There you go, guys. Now, this yellow sap that you see dripping out of it, this is toxic, okay? So you don't want to consume this. So what I do is I'll lean it up in a bowl against something and just let it drip out for a couple of hours, and then I'll wash this thoroughly. So you don't want this. This is it's just toxic if you consume too much of it. I don't consume any of it, so you don't want this yellow sap, okay? See that? Look how much of it is just dripping out of it, okay? So there you go. So I'll put this in a bowl and have it just drip out before I wash it all out, okay? So I've let it drain, as you can see, in a bowl, and all that yellow stuff is dripping out. So I'm actually going to probably let it just sit here, okay? It's just leaning up against a bowl, in a bowl against my sink. So I'm just going to let it sit here for probably another 15-20 minutes or so. It's been sitting probably for 15-20 minutes, and so all of it will just drip out, and you'll be able to see if there's any left when you cut it open. So guys, it's been about a half hour, and I let all that yellow stuff drain out, you see? And look at this beautiful, beautiful, this is all where the gel is in the middle, okay? So what I do is I will just very closely just take this top layer off, okay? So you're going to carefully, with a very sharp knife, preferably, because that'll do a better job. And I am going to just take this completely off, okay? So you're going to keep doing this all the way. It'll come off very easily. If your knife is very sharp, very easily. All the way. Just stop right there. Okay. And then what I do is I'll get a spoon, okay? And then I'll just start lightly, not very heavy, just really with a very light, very, very light. I get a bowl. Let me get a bowl here. And so look at all the gel. Let me just get that in focus. Look at all this gel that's coming off of it. So you'll keep scraping it, and the gel will just keep dripping into the bowl. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to scrape all of that out because you have to have the right amount of pressure, and so it can get very difficult. So another easier way also is, because you're going to blend this so it doesn't matter, is you can just chop it up in pieces like so, and just peel this off just like so. See that? All that gel is in there because this was a really thin layer. See that? And you can do it this way, where you just be careful not to go through the skin, but close to that skin, okay? And there you go. So this might be a lot cleaner. I do it several ways. It depends, I guess, on my mood. And what's easier. Here you go. And I usually, like I said, I usually let it drain in a bowl, so all that yellow, toxic, smelly, it smells like BO. So aloe, you'll say when you harvest it, it smells funny, but it's all that yellow stuff. This in itself is really not bad. And so when I get chunks like this, you can wash it, like you can rinse this all again. Because I'm super careful with that and I want it to be as clean as possible. So I'll rinse this again before I put it in my blender. So let me show you again one more time. So you just take that prickly and corners off, okay? And again, it's slippery, so you have to be really careful with your sharp knife. So I just slightly just take that top layer off. Okay, there you go. Oh my God, this is beautiful aloe, if I may say so myself. And then again, very carefully, you can actually just put this down and do it this way. It's easier. Whatever is easier for you, okay? Just get that gel out of there. So here you go. So this way seems to be a lot less messy, easier. And if you're gonna blend it, this is just fine. So do that this way. So what I do, guys, is I will take a few pieces. Like I said, if you feel you haven't gotten all that yellow stuff out, you can further wash them. But I did let this drain. I had some draining for about 2 hours. But for this video, I didn't let it drain that long. It was probably about 30 minutes. But you want to let all that yellow stuff drain out. You'll see when it starts to run clear, and you'll know that there's no more yellow stuff. So you'll add your clean aloe. So I'll just blend this all up. Okay. So I have my aloe all in here, and we're going to just blend that. So here you go. It's all blended. Okay. So what I do now is I strain this. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm only getting the gel in there. Okay. And then once I strain that, okay, and I have, there you go, so this is just all, that frothiness will just eventually dissipate, so that'll go away. And I'll add 2 tablespoons of rose water, okay. I use, so this is the brand I've been using. I'll see if I can find a link for it and leave it in the description. This one has glycerin also in it. I don't usually buy it with glycerin, but this is the one I guess I picked up the last time. Okay, and so I'll mix this up, and all I do is I'll put it in a jar and just store it in the refrigerator, okay? But what I do is I'll just take a cotton ball. I'll just make sure a cotton ball is saturated, and this is how I apply it to my face at night. And I don't wash it off. You can wash it off if you want after about 15 minutes or so, but it's usually not necessary. And when this comes out of the refrigerator and it's cool, it's the best feeling. This is one of the best things I find for my skin. It really helps with the moisture. I mean, it keeps my skin moisturized, but I also notice that it gives it a nice glowy, dewy finish. Okay, so that's how I harvest my aloe, and that's it, nothing to it. So if you like this video, leave me a comment below. Let me know if this is something you enjoy. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for joining me in the garden and in the kitchen. Have a beautiful day, guys.